Hi, this is Marie. I'm one of your Color-ology design team members. Today we're going to create these fun flowers for our card, and I'm going to be using some of Sherri Baldy's wonderful Color-ology pigment. I'm using Express It, but you can use any paper that is about 65 to 80 pound weight. It works best, I find, for molding flowers. And this is some pigment. When you get this pigment in the little tiny jar, you'll get a little spoon and you put about 3 spoonfuls in either water or alcohol. Your choice. When you stir it, you'll want to do a bell-shaped motion, not an up and down, to prevent clogging. I'm going to lightly mist this, and I do not want to have it really one solid color. I want to have a little bit of variation in tone. And I'm also putting a little bit of Glimmer Spritz called Black Stardust, just to give it a little bit of a vintage look. You will be able to see it through the other pigment. I also used a rose-colored one, and I sprayed one heavy and one light. So that's going to give me 3 flowers of varying colors. The red and 2 of the rose, heavy and light misting. I cut these using cherry lin dye, and mine isn't going to quite look like this little flower. They can vary depending on how you choose to shape them, and I'm going to put a pearl in the middle of mine. And I'm using a Heartfelt Creation classic leaf, stamp, and die. I love to coordinate my stamps and my dies because it gives such nice texture lines in there. I'm going to be sponging some with aged Mahogany Distress Ink, and I have nice color already, so I only want to do the very center and the very tips or ends, because I just want to give more dimension to my flower. But the Spritz already gave nice color to the cardstock. Just a light sponge. And we're going to repeat this process on all of the flower petals. In light of time, you don't need to watch me do all of that, but just repeat the process. I think that this particular one, I think that the rose is just one of my favorite, and I've recently purchased kind of a purplish color. I can hardly wait to use that one. Now, you can see that even with the red one, the light orangish red, the mahogany works very well on that as well. The colors coordinate. Again, just a light sponge on the tip. I find that the small dauber seems to work better than my large daubers to do a little sponging. In the future, we'll do some with a little bit of watercolor or Copic added to some of the wonderful pigment from Sherri's online store. Now, for the leaf, I'm going to just sponge it with a dark green. Lightly sponging only the edges on this one. The reason I do that is it gives it more definition, makes it pop out more. Not just that it's fun to do, but it also adds a really dimensional finished look to your product. Just a light sponge will do it. Okay. And now it's time for us to have fun with molding our flowers. You can use any molding tool. This is a McGill, but I also have one by Heartfelt Creations, and a molding pad. And you turn your petal upside down. And I use the large one to just soften the fibers. And then I use the 5mm over the top to shape it. The harder you press, the more of a curl that you'll get. Flip it over and do the center. Now for this petals that will be going toward the inside, you may want to press a little firmer and get more of a dimensional curve on those petals. It's up to you. Some people prefer them to be a little flatter so they go in the mail better. And when you glue these down with your craft glue, just offset each petal from the one before. And that way they'll look fuller. We're just repeating that same process, 8mm to just kind of break the fibers of the paper, and then we're actually shaping it with a 5mm. Flip it over to the top and do the center. Now we're repeating, breaking the fiber. And I'm just going to leave it for that for the very bottom because I really want it to be pretty flat. I love this little metal tip. I learned that from Jen Evers. She got me hooked on that. And it gives such a nice controlled amount of glue. And again, offsetting each layer of petals. If you really could, you can use a glue gun as well. Just a little bit of glue does it. And then we're just going to repeat that process with all of our petals. And now for my leaf, I flipped it upside down, and I'm just going to more break the fibers on this side. I'm not going to get a really deep curl because I just want a little bit of dimension and a little bit of texture. But by breaking those fibers, it doesn't allow your paper to crack or wrinkle, and you get a nice curl to them. Now, isn't that cute? And so I repeated the process with my other flowers. For my gorgeous designer paper, I'll be using Sherri Baldy's My Bestie Basic Vintage Paper. And I love all the papers in this set. Hope you give this a try, and hope you will stop by Sherri's store. I have the link to her store at the bottom under description under the video. Thank you so very much for watching. Come again.